Oh, you're on live already.
Boom. Put your best face on.
I was like,
Let's do this. All right. I think we're live. So we'll start talking
yes,
anyways. Today is your inaugural, whatever that means, 10th episode of the Everyday Dog. I appreciate you being here once again, my tech savvy self. Today is your inaugural, I don't even know where this is open. 10th episode of the Everyday. All right.
I can hear you
Might
in
as
the
well
background.
start her with a few hiccups. This is real life, everyone. But clearly we are live because I heard myself.
Clearly. Yep.
In any event, happy lunch hour, everyone, or nearly. It's Friday, beautiful outside. And today I have a special guest with me of the one, the only, as we call her, Melanie. So episode 10, Everyday Dog. Make sure you hashtag live or replay if you watch this. We'd like it if you watch this and engage because we're curious what you think about stuff, whether you
Yes.
think we suck or we're awesome. All input is welcomed. But I might talk back if you don't like us. So just get ready for that. Anyways, today we wanted to talk about a handful of things, but Melanie's been dealing with quite a bit of stuff at our puppy daycare and training center, and Jessica has been at puppy classes and so forth. And there was a common question that came up, and Melanie, what was it, or is it?
Yes, it was interesting. I was chatting with Jessica and we were kind of spitballing different ideas back and forth and trying to figure out, we're like, hey, everyone's asking about jumping up. All of a sudden, every dog wants to do it. Or sort of appears. Everybody, all the dogs are jumping up and nipping at people and they're not sitting nicely. And we get asked this question over and over and over again. How do I get my dog to say hi to people without jumping up? All the time, over and over again. It's funny. And we say very similar answers for most of the dogs. So thought we could maybe talk about that.
What? Can you
Jumping
say that
up.
again? I'm just kidding. Okay, jumping up. Common
Yes.
theme, issues. People have issues with their dog jumping up. Okay.
Yes.
So it's
And
often,
themselves.
yes, it's often age dependent. Okay. So let's just use one piece as far as, hey, we're socializing our puppy with other people. And with other people, it's like, well, I just really want them to have a fun, positive experience. So I don't really want to like have all these rules just quite yet, which is okay. Now, the critical period of socialization for people with dogs, where you get the most bang for your buck, where you can help your dog generalize and appreciate, it's not a big deal to meet people of different sizes, shapes, and all the other things. And they, at that point, at 12 weeks, about the 13, 14 week mark, that's where I'm like, okay, most of your critical period of socialization with people has kind of come. So now I want still to socialize you with people, but now there's going to be more criteria. So instead of like me walking down Main Street and my puppy's like, oh my God, everybody, and it like runs over and jumps and people are like, I love you, puppy. I'm like, that's great. I like that. But after like 13, 14 weeks, I'm like, okay, we can't do that anymore because this is going to become routine and habit and conditioned and problematic and annoying for all parties, except for the people that are really super high level dog people. They're like, we don't mind. It's okay.
We don't care. Love my face.
But then it's an
Not
issue
good.
later.
Not good.
So that's the first thing is if your puppy's like 14 weeks or older, now it's like still important to expose them to people, but you want to make sure they do it in a more systematic, calm way.
Okay.
So for example, you just get a cat to come in and like join in.
So
you like
causing all
hit the dog in the face when they're jumping. No, I'm kidding. But so like I'll kind of highlight a situation. You're walking down the street, picking up your kid from school, and you're on the street and someone walks over like, oh my God, what a nice puppy. And you're like, oh, thanks. Like a very simple way to get your dog to be calmer is simply, if it's had any kind of training yet, like just basic sits and stuff, it's going to get excited. And what you could do is just kind of get in between the dog, shorten the leash, kind of in between the dog and the other human. And then you just lure them either with an empty hand or with some food in it. You're like, sit, buddy. And then your puppy sits and then it might break position and try to go see them again. You're like, no, not yet. And then you get in between, you do it again. Once puppy's sitting there for a moment and like, could I go? Then you like gesture them to, okay, go say hi. But a distinction is that it would be better if the human, kid or adult, their hands were nose level.
Okay. Keeping that.
Because if there's If they're hi, oh my God, the dogs want to jump to your hands because those are a source of play or affection. So if your hands are like waist level and taller than the dog's head, they're going to jump at them. So if I kneel down and I crouch and like, hi, puppy, I bring my hands closest so the dog goes to them, and I can cheat too. If you give the person a little piece of food, the dog will default right to their hand and try to eat the food. They pet them, pet, pet, pet. Then the people walk away. The dog didn't even jump at all. So you're getting ahead of the jumping.
Yep. And then they start to associate. People mean, oh, if I'm a good dog, I get a treat, I get love, all the good things happen, right?
Yeah. And it's just like dogs approach life with unbridled enthusiasm often, and they run at what they want. So we have to teach them that actually to get what you want, you need to slow it down and sometimes even back away. So like dogs intrinsically just want to find the fastest way to get what they want. But if I convey to them, no, you running away from me on leash and trying to go see these people actually leads to it taking longer for you to get to them, then they'll start to be like, well, how do I get what I want? And you're like, you get in between, you ask them to sit, and then they're like this, and then you're like, okay, now. And once they make that association, they'll want to do what you want a lot faster because it gets them what they want.
So what if a couple things that there's a lot of people for puppy daycare that's been trying to do that in the morning, which is great. Everybody's working with their puppies. One of the things that we find is they'll get to the point where we're about maybe 3 or 4 feet away. We're both wearing masks. So we're not social distance anymore, but we are having masks on. And so they'll say, okay, they'll release their puppies, and their puppies go right to a big jump on me. So I know what I should do, but what would you recommend someone else, let's say that isn't a dog trainer or has worked with puppies quite a bit, or maybe a new idea for me as well, because it doesn't always work what I've been doing. What would you recommend for the person to do now that their dog is like free because it sat, and then now, okay, go say hi. And then the dog's like 4 feet up, literally woo, coming at you.
It's a great question. And it's super common thing that I deal with. The first thing I'll mention is that if possible, the person the dog is jumping on is the one that wants to tell them to get off.
Right.
So instead of the owners naturally often will come to you and be like, oh, get off Juniper or whatever the dog's name is. That's a good one. Yeah. Anyways, and then I'm often when I'm at a private session, I'm like, no, it's okay. I got this. It's fine. Cause they're just embarrassed. Right. And I'm like, it's fine. Like, this is why I'm here. So I might as well do some work.
Right.
But from the dog's perspective, I think it just resonates better and more deeply to them if the thing they're jumping on, the person, is the one that gets them off. Okay. Because I feel like it becomes a situation where like I'm just the ruiner of fun if I'm the dog owner or handler, dog parent. Yes. Yes, and it's like my child, right? Like I'll often tell him, buddy, you can't do that. And he's like, it's ruining everything. And I'm like, no, I'm like, I can see 5 steps ahead that you're going to get yourself into trouble. So because of that, like I'll let the environment teach him a lot if it's safe to do so, because then there's no fallout of him thinking that I'm just the party police and I'm going to ruin everything.
Yeah.
So
then would you, if you say off, right, and you walk towards them, that's sort of the idea?
Okay. So part 1, when the dog's on leash, still, you ask your guest, your friend, random stranger, okay, I'm going to let my dog come and see you, because this will be better for dogs like 4 months and older.
Yeah.
Is I'm going to let my dog come and see you, and they're just too erratic, and I'm going to wait a few moments till they calm. But once I let them go, they're going to get back amped up again and jump at you. And it's like, okay, I'm prepared. Then what the person is going to do, that's the dog's walking to, is they're going to, dog jumps up, people are going to say off. They're going to walk 2 or 3 or 4 feet through the dog gently. I'm not trying to knee them or anything. I'm just trying to go towards. For whatever reason, if you back up, they'll just follow you and jump on you more. If you spin around, you're like a carousel that they're trying to jump on that's moving. Come on, I can't get onto you. So I go through gently. I say off once and I point, but I don't push the dog off. I walk them off of me, providing the dog's not bigger than you. Then it's not going to work.
Like Fergus the other day.
Yes.
There's no, for me, telling that dog off.
Well, you can just put them in like a body triangle with your legs and squeeze them. No, I'm kidding. But so the big distinction here is that the dog's dragging a leash. Because some dogs will be too incessant of jumpers that you could tell them get off of 15 times and they'll keep coming at you, but they'll come at you harder and bite you. Like not me but like, come on, I'm gonna play with me, and they
Yes.
start picking at you, and you're like, oh.
They get frustrated because you're getting, well, they get excited. You're getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated. The dog's getting excited. So that's one thing that I find. So should the owner, like, so my second step, I try to do off. It works sometimes. Let's say 90% of the time, especially with
Well,
like the
that's a
4
lot more
months
than
and older.
sometimes.
Well, there's that 10%. Maybe it's
Is
more than
that
10%. I just like
it's a
to call it
loud 10%, a
very
difficult 10.
loud. Yes, difficult 10, a solid 10 percent that won't do it. So then my second goal is to step on the leash.
Yes, correct.
That's what you would do as well.
But there's distinctions here. So, step one, off. I walk through the dog till they get down, and then I walk away. I don't praise the dog when it gets off of me. I don't ask it to sit and then pet it, because this is a big common mistake too, is that dog jumps up, we say off, they get off. We're like, good dog, you're such a smart little doggy. They get down and then we pet them. But in the dog's mind, they're like, oh, jump up, get off, affection, jump up, get off, affection. And we're reinforcing this cycle that we hate, not realizing that it's a cycle. So anything that happens between 5 to 10 seconds, you reinforce the whole cycle, not the last behavior. So that's where people are like, I don't know why my dog keeps jumping up. And I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, well, I tell them to sit after they jump and then I pet them. I'm like, well, that's why it's not working.
I know. It took me a long time to figure this one out. And
You're welcome.
sometimes I still can't help it. Just, you're a good dog. And then, no, stop it. But he is a good dog. He didn't jump that time.
Longer.
Right. Oh, I'm so bad for that. I'm getting better.
What the next piece of it is, so that's a small little distinction. Okay, don't do that. And then the last piece is when I say off, and if the dog's just more of an exuberant, challenging jumper, I will then step on the leash and wait anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds. I'll wait till either one, the dog gets calm and is like, and then I walk away. Once again, I'm not telling it's a good dog. I walk away. Okay. Or I can wait that 15 to 30 seconds. And if the dog's like trying to get away from me and it's like moving away out of my personal space bubble, I'm like, well, I can let them go then too. Because it's like 50-50. Some dogs you need to wait till they're calm. Some dogs you need to wait until they're trying to get away from you. Because they're like, I don't like this. Like, it's restrictive. I only have 3 feet.
Right.
But like, I'm like, I don't like when you scratch me with your big talons.
Yeah, absolutely. What if they're nervous? So the other side of the coin would be
they're easy to get off you if they're nervous. True, you say off and you walk towards them, they're like, oh, sorry.
Sorry. But if they like back up and bark at you because they're nervous, what would you do? That's a
Be
good
still.
One. Just not move and wait for them to kind of come around. Because there's always, like, with puppies especially, I find when you're working with them, it's like they mature in such a quick for us, like, so we see them once a week for puppy daycare. But the first week they're like super excited to be, or super nervous to be there, and they're like, oh, I'm not sure, and they're all well behaved and they come in. Week 2 is always a challenge because they know where they're going, so they're either like way excited and their minds are just like blown even before they get there, or they're a little bit nervous. So if the dog doesn't want to come towards me, let's say if I want to bring it into daycare, what would you recommend that we do there? That's like the opposite. It's a pretty common thing.
Okay, so let me finish the first point.
Sure.
And then I can get into that one.
Yes, of course.
So what you'll need to do with jumping up is I'll just repeat that exact same cycle of off, walk through, step on the leash, and then wait 30 seconds. And then I step off the leash and I walk away and do whatever I was going to do. And then the dog jumps up again. I say off, I point, I step on the leash. Sometimes you need to put a little bit of downward pressure. So they're kind of like this if they're excessive jumpers. So it's like, oh, this is annoying. And you're like, well, bud, stop scratching my body off. And then they'll lay down and they'll chill out and you walk away. Okay. And then that's kind of what I would do. And then the dog will just get bored of you. And you're like, well, you're not fun. I don't get nothing I want from you. And then they go and lay down. And then that's when you're like, you can go walk over to them and like gently give them massage-like affection. If they get amped up and they jump on you and try to chew your face, I rinse and repeat the process. Off, step on the leash, wait 30 seconds, walk away, go sit down. So because dogs learn by trial and error, they'll start to have a very clear path of this doesn't work at all. It's like hitting a brick wall, not physically. And then this works pretty good. Like if I just lay here and do nothing, you come to me and give me what I want. I mean, I never thought that doing nothing was good, but apparently it is.
That's true.
So the anxious dog, concerned, scared, fearful dog.
Yeah.
Those dogs don't jump very much typically.
No.
Because they have a personal space bubble and they don't want to invade yours.
Right.
So
yes, like the reverse.
Yes.
It's almost like we're invading their space versus like like we're jumping on them, but we're not. But like similar. They're like, no, don't.
So effectively with that, like typically what I just do is I sit down, like, or I kneel down and I sideways face and I just let the dog take some time to come and walk up to me.
Okay.
Don't try to like coax the dog necessarily, because if a dog's scared and you're like, come here, I'm your best friend, I'm so sweet.
I love you.
Well, think of like if you're walking down the street at night with no dog by yourself because you went to go get the mail, and then I come up, some random you don't know, then I'm like, oh, hi, how's it going? What's your name? And I come directly to you and you're a little bit unsure and scared because you're walking in the back alley because you need to go to your garage for some reason. And you're like, this creepy guy is coming right towards me and he's looking at me too long and it's creepy and I want to run. That's how we presumably make them feel when they're showing us all that, like,
I can't do it. Okay, that makes sense.
So I just essentially I'm trying to make myself less intimidating by not looking as much at the dog. Sideways facing is just a calming signal. Typically, you're like, take your time.
Fine.
And then I'm not talking to the dog either because like it tends to trigger them more.
Right.
So what people normally do is look, talk, try to gesture, and then the puppy gets spooked more. So I do the opposite. I turn, I look away, I don't call the puppy, I talk to the human from the side. And then the puppy starts to,
oh, it's a bit curious.
They get a bit closer and closer. Now what I would do best would have some food and I just toss it and it could let it eat it on my hand.
I was going to ask you that. Toss some food to kind of go, it's all good. But then you still wouldn't talk to the puppy. You're just tossing food.
Right. Okay. Because like talking can be a trigger, and most people when they talk to someone they look at them, so then unintentionally you're doing double trigger, not even being aware of it.
That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
But when I'm talking to the person, well, the dog starts to get desensitized to my voice because I keep talking but I'm not looking, so it's only one trigger at a time, so it becomes easier for the dog to accept. Yeah,
that makes sense. It's hard for the human, especially if you're used to all dogs loving you.
Yeah,
it can be really difficult.
They're the worst,
right?
No, I'm kidding. But they are difficult because it's like we think like we can convince the scared dog to like us, and it's not how it works. Most of the time it just repels, right?
Yep.
Same way if a guy is too annoying, I guess, from what I hear.
Don't remember you hear. Well, I can do it too. I can be scary in a back alley.
Maybe if you're doing something like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, something super weird, then it could be scary. Yeah. That's a good move. I'm feeling threatened, so I'm going to do something super weird. I
used to live in a bad area, so yes, I've done that a couple times.
Okay, I've got an idea.
Okay.
Well, let's pretend you have a super friendly dog and you've got a dog poop. Just start squeezing it out and looking at them. And it's like, they're like, what the heck is wrong with this broad? I want to get away from her. She's a predator, not me.
Yeah. But not to go into like safety in at night, but I actually used to walk my dog at night all the time because I had a reactive dog, and it was just simpler to walk at night for a long time. And I actually talked to a police officer. One of the first things you should do if you're walking at night, you see somebody, is to make eye contact. Make eye contact, walk directly towards them, and just no fear.
But is that prolonged eye contact or just like?
No, for like no like deadpan face, you just stare at them, because most people who are up to no good, let's say, will leave you alone because they don't want to fight. Are not looking for a fight. So one of the biggest things for safety, A, no ponytails, and B, if someone's being really weird, just stare at them and pull out your phone, right? Call 911, and then you're like, you gonna mess with me? And the person just leaves you alone.
That's a good bonus tip, really, because
teach your dog to speak.
Yeah, and
because that worked too. Big black.
Yeah, because it's interesting. You can teach them like bark, but then you like label it as a different word, like guard me. And then
Yeah.
start going, rah, 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 rah.
Protect, even though he's a
Yes.
lab. He's never done
Meanwhile,
protection
it's-
training.
Yeah, it's just an excited bark, but people are like, oh my God, she said guard me, and the dog started barking. And you're like, ah.
Imagine my 3PO trying to protect me. Oh my God. I'm just gonna love him first. It's fine.
Yeah, but people don't necessarily often understand the difference between excited behavior versus like intense behavior if they're unsure about dogs or neutral, especially if they're scared. They see energy, and energy's bad.
That's it. Yeah. And they leave. That's the biggest thing, is just be confident and be like, what?
I was just wondering more from a perspective of a curiosity when you were saying that, is that if I was walking by and then you started looking at me quite a bit, I'd almost wonder if it was longer than like a quick like look and hey, and then look away. If it would be more like, do you want to engage with me? Like, hi, how's it going?
Because you're not a creep up to no good.
Okay.
Right? Because your mindset is
enough.
not as a creep up to no good. People
Right.
who, right? Like, because you're friendly. So I would be more than happy to start a conversation with someone who's nice. I'm not worried about that. But at the same time, if I don't know you, I would have my phone in my hand. But for people who are walking at night and are nervous and see potentially somebody being kind of weird, don't run away.
Look down.
Don't look down. Make eye contact. Make yourself seem big, because the biggest thing those people want is they don't want to fight, and they're generally not confident people. They're bad people, so they are not confident. They are not good. And sorry, my gosh, where we get this topic from? But
just getting into some criminal psychology here on the Everyday Dog Show, episode 10. Breaking barriers, talking about stuff we aren't necessarily experts about, but hey, it's all good.
All good. We're sharing the knowledge. I used to do a lot of running at night too. So that's one of the reasons I spoke to police officers and like, what do you recommend? And where I was running to, there's a lot of truck drivers, and so I found them a little bit intimidating, but generally they're harmless. They just want to sleep and go back to work the next day. That's not who you have to worry about. But anyways, fun topic.
It's relative.
Friday.
You have a larger female audience, so I'm sure this stuff is
true.
Beneficial, and maybe some things that they had not heard of already. So
yeah.
Okay, absolutely. To move on, did you have any other questions, or do you want me to come into anything?
So we talked about the jumping up was a big one. The big distinction is that 14 weeks. I think we should post it somewhere too. I tend to forget as well. That's when you stop doing the, okay, go say hi to everybody. Everybody is friendly. And now it's time to learn some manners, because a lot of people are kind of a bit confused. Should I still be doing friendly, or they start doing the commands too soon, so now the dog thinks it's bad to jump on people? Because jumping up is, in its core, is just excited. It's just happy, generally energy, and it's like, oh, people, yay, I love people. I would much rather deal with a dog that's not super well trained and friendly than a dog that is unfriendly but really well trained, because you want to make sure your dog thinks strangers and people are not scary.
Oh my God, what you said made me think of something. Well, many things, but it really made me think of something in specifically.
Love it. You're welcome.
And, well, no, you're not.
No.
But the thing was an absence. This is super important. Absence of a friendly greeting from a new dog that you don't know immediately puts me on high alert.
Yep.
That's where sometimes people get in trouble. And like, to your point, you're like, I much more see a dog who's like, oh my God, I love you. Oh, he comes towards you and is jumping you, than a dog that's kind of staying by their owner and side-eyeing you and kind of staring. And then you're like, where is this going? Where most people would be like, oh, your dog's so well trained and it's so calm.
Well behaved.
Might not ask the person and just dive in there to try to pet the dog. And then the dog growls or bites or lunges or whatever. And the person's like, like the dog handler was like, I was going to tell you to stop, but you're so quick.
You're so fast.
So everyone, if there's an absence of a friendly greeting, that is a red flag when you're meeting a new dog. That means they're not super confident to meet you.
No.
So don't dive in and try to,
all dogs love me.
Well, because it's the same thing as what you said with the puppy. It's like, I can't throw myself at that dog. I mean, sometimes I can with a puppy. I can kind of cheat because they're not actually like really a bite risk.
No.
But with an adult dog, it's not something I want to do because it's really high risk with a small percentage of reward consistently. And it's just not how I would do it. So anyways, that was a great distinction for you to raise there, because it's worth mentioning, because people just don't realize that if the dog's not super hyper and excited, that maybe it's actually hesitant and
Actually
reserved
fearful. Yep.
because it's scared of you.
And the thing too is we shouldn't be petting dogs without asking first. That's just a big one.
We shouldn't.
No.
Absolutely agree. But sometimes people can't keep them hands to themselves. The sneak attack pet is some of the worst things, especially for service dogs.
Yes.
Or like I'll have clients with their dogs and they're like, we're just sitting there and someone walks by and starts petting the dog that's on duty. And I'm like, please don't.
I love it when it says it too. Do not pet, on duty, on blah, 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 do not pet. Can I touch your dog?
I feel like I was with Jen actually when that happened once. One of our administrator.
Yeah.
Anyways, maybe it wasn't, but I was with a client and we're sitting on a bus doing some public access work. And then this person behind, I was sitting across from them. This was pre-COVID.
Right.
And I'm watching this lady and I see her kind of like eyeing up the dog up and down. And she's literally like, I could see her feeling unsettled, like she was trying to hold back. and then she was, and she does this, and I'm like, oh God.
Here it comes.
I'm like, is she gonna do it? Yeah, she did. And then she pet him, and I was like, oh, that was clear.
People just can't help themselves.
You could see the like wheels turning, and her's like, I'm not supposed to, but can't help myself.
Can I just touch it? Can I just touch it? Oh, absolutely. Anyways. Yes.
So don't, please control yourself.
No. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
Can you do it? No.
98% of the time.
Yeah. 88. Is that what you said? It's an even number.
Not 98. Better.
Oh, I said 88.
98.
Like, okay.
98. There's just that 2% time where I'm like vibrating towards, because your dog, and it's usually because that dog is vibrating towards me and we have a connection. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to touch you.
You guys are on the same frequency. You're both just going to start levitating because of your energy levels. You're like, best. And
yes, you're right. It's usually a chocolate lab. For those of you who are picturing it, it's almost always a chocolate lab. Anyways.
Your kryptonite.
My exactly.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that's probably enough for today. I know we could go on for a while, but I think people might need us in doses. Yes. So, but that's okay. It's good. It's like a shot, right?
Take it fast.
Okay. Well, thanks for being on again, and enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll chat with Melanie again soon.
See you guys next week.
Bye.